Hi guys, my name's Seb Tudor. I'm the man on the Silver Mountain, and welcome back. Today, I wanted to continue talking about these categories along the spectrum of a person, and the one that I wanted to touch on today was the good, which I described before as kind of a Disney prince, Disney prince or Disney princess kind of archetype to a degree, more from the classical Disneys than the more recent ones, because I barely watched any of the more recent ones, in all honesty, but. The things that kind of spell this kind of part out are very much kind of an individual who's more kind of empathic and considerate, but whilst at the same time being kind of confident and assertive, but without imposing on others so much, And this is a kind of area that you see a lot of people in my experience, kind of later on in life. Whereby when they get a little bit more comfortable, but still really enjoy connecting with people and stuff like that, they end up more floating towards this place. I feel, whereby they're enjoying their independence, and they tend to be kind of straightforward and rational and open to discussion, while still, as I said, maintaining that level of confidence and assertiveness over themselves without imposing on others. But when it comes to kind of the more vulnerable, kind of weakened side, they're willing to be vulnerable, but only on their own terms. So they will cry on someone's shoulder if they, actively choose to. And so, what it comes down to with these guys is that with that kind of good Disney prince, kind of empathic and confident and considerate, these guys are usually considered quite highly desirable. Unfortunately, some of the places that they tend to fall short is being so empathic and being, trying to be considerate and not imposing on others and things like that. It does mean that, sometimes when there's something that needs to be addressed, or something that's kind of maybe a bit more experimental, that's a bit more uncertain, these guys might not do it, or these guys and girls rather might not do it, just because there's that moment of, well, if you need to try and do a thing, what if you end up overstepping on other people, or if it's not so straightforward, or it requires you to be a bit more vulnerable to another person where you're not really comfortable in doing it. There are a few more hang-ups involved with this individual, but this individual is definitely one of the more of the main three in the middle that retains a lot more confidence and self-assurance, and so there's not as much to say around kind of this area of the spectrum, purely because that high empathy, being considerate, having that confident and assertive, kind of open to discussion nature to them, allows for a much easier interaction overall. And so as a result, there's not really much to go into this. Unfortunately, this is one of the areas of the spectrum where the extremes will usually rile against to one degree or another, because they're seeing an individual who seems potentially much softer, or much or as nice as they are, getting what they want, and as a result they will condemn those behaviors, or suggest that there's something else about that person that they can't see, or that they're not sure about, that is giving them that attention, or allowing them to be that confident and demonstrate their positive traits, which again causes resentment and condemning, or potentially imitating of actions incorrectly. The being considerate in this is often done in terms of overgiving by a nice guy, in which case then, by overgiving, that whole investment bias kicks in, whereby they're going to continue to give and want to see things progress and succeed in the way that they want, when the other person doesn't even have that in mind. They've just got this really helpful friend that keeps coming and just doing stuff for them, and so it becomes a bit of a mess, because they've not understood how or why the high empathy or the consideration of this area of the spectrum is functioning for the individual displaying these behaviours, and as a result they've taken away what they think they've seen, what they think they know, and they've gone about implementing it in a way that has only caused them more hardship. But anyway, tell me what you guys think. You know, especially in regards to the people imitating this or trying to imitate this and doing badly, because that seems to be far more obvious than someone who just displays all of these traits in a huge way. You know, please tell me, you know, share your experiences. As said, potentially people who have reached this point and are happy in where they are. You know, how did you get to this point? Were you know, was it a fairly natural progression, or was it something you had to work on? As said, drop your experiences in the comments down below, because it will probably help, or at the very least maybe give other people things to think about if they aren't in this situation themselves, or if they want to be in this situation. But otherwise, guys, if you found this at all interesting, thought-provoking, or anything else along those lines, please drop me a like, and otherwise please subscribe for more, and I will see you guys in the next video tomorrow. Take care.